Hi guys, my name is Apollymia and welcome to another little rant video. This time I'm going to be talking about LFR. First off, we're going to start with LFG, which was introduced in Wrath, and initially it was probably one of the best things that they'd added to the game because it made it so much easier to do instances. I remember sitting outside a bunch of different dungeons, sitting at the summoning stone, and spamming, looking for tank, healer, and 2 DPS to do whatever dungeon I was at, and I would be there for 2 hours before I would got a group. And most of the time you want to do heroic mode, or you want to do normals, and people don't want to do chain heroics, and people definitely don't want to do chain normals. So if you wipe once or twice, someone's gonna leave, and then someone has to leave the dungeon, go back to trade chat, or go outside and find somebody, and it was just a mess. So when LFG was introduced, it was a very good way for people to really actually see the dungeon content and get geared properly so that they could go do raids with, their guilds or with pug groups. In Kata, LFR was introduced. Now, I originally thought this would be a good idea because I was in a small guild that literally did not raid ever. And I thought, oh, well, now I can see content for myself and I don't have to get into a raid group. I don't have to pug anything. I don't have to leave my guild to get into a group. I can just stay in my guild and I can run LFR whenever I want to. It turned into a very bad thing. And it only turned into a bad thing when Mists rolled around, because Kata raiding was lazy. LFR taught people in Kata that you did not have to do anything to get the boss down, or to get your gear. All you had to do is one-tap the boss, and you're fine, and you could just go stand in fire and die. Raiding got very lazy. People got very cocky and lazy and thinking, oh, I can just do this, it's just like LFR. And people didn't pay attention to mechanics, people don't pay attention to anything anymore. And that's why raiding groups tend to fail. And that's why LFRs tend to fail, is because people are lazy and they think they can just get carried when you have to do some kind of work in LFR to make it actually happen, because, hey, that boss has a lot of health, and you actually have to do DPS in order for it to die. And hey, you can't just hit the boss once, get aggro, and AFK for 10 minutes. You have to kite. You have to taunt off. You have to hit your own cooldowns, because the boss has a one-hit nuke that'll kill the entire raid if you don't hit one cooldown at a specific time. Or you have to heal your ass off because the DPS is stupid and standing and shit, or the tank is an idiot and they're in all DPS gear. That's basically what LFR is. So I have a couple of LFR tips, and I'm using air quotes because this is common sense, but I feel like nobody gets it, because half the time when I go into LFR, we wipe 5 times, and I'm left with half the raid leaving. So I'm going to put this out there so that maybe somebody somewhere will watch this and go, oh, well, I was being stupid. Maybe I should actually pay the fuck attention to LFR. My first tip for first-timers: if you have not been into a specific LFR before and you have no idea what to do, follow the leader. That's how that works, okay? If you are a tank and you don't know what to do, whisper the other tank. You need to coordinate with them, and they're not going to yell at you because they would rather get through this with coordination than have to wipe 1,000 times and have to leave and get a debuff. So whisper the other tank, find out what you specifically need to do, and coordinate. If you're a healer, stack with the other healers. Usually the paladins will be up near the melee and everyone else will be in the back. If you stay near the middle, stay near the ranged, but also stay near the melee. Just stay in the middle of everybody. This way, your heals get everywhere. You need to make sure that you're readily available to heal everybody at a moment's notice. For DPS, if you are melee, you stack on the other melee, or you stack near the tank. Don't ever go in front of the tank, ever. Because most bosses have a cleave. Do not be in front of the boss. If it is a dragon, do not be behind it, and kind of don't be on its side. Be near its shoulder. That actually goes for a lot of bosses nowadays. With the dinosaurs, they have the tail swipe, so don't go near the back. stay near the side. So a melee DPS safe bet is stay on the side of the boss. Don't go in the back. Don't follow the pets. Stay on the side. For ranged DPS, just stay near the healers in the back. So my second little tip here is ads need to die before the boss, unless otherwise specified. There are some fights where you just need to kite the ads and ignore them, but most fights in the new LFR in Throne of Thunder, you need to kill the ads before the boss. You need to. Like the Triceratops boss, I don't know his name off the top of my head. You need to kill his ads, or they're gonna heal him, and the tanks are gonna get overwhelmed, and the healers are gonna get overwhelmed, everyone's gonna run out of mana, and the fight's gonna wipe. So don't not focus the ads. Now, a lot of time in LFR, people will scream in raid chat, kill this, kill that, or, all ranged on this and all melee on this. If that is what they are telling you to do, do it. Do not just stand on the boss to boost your meters, okay? Nobody cares about your DPS in an LFR. You are essentially getting 25-man buffs and doing your all against a boss that is nerfed. Nobody cares that you are doing 100k against this, because it does not really count. So get the content down and stop being a douchebag. My third tip is watch where you're standing. If there's electrical stuff under you, don't stand there. If there's fire there, don't stand there. If you're standing in a spot and you're losing health for whatever reason and you really can't tell why, move. If you are alone in a place and everyone else is on the other side of the room and you have no idea why you're standing alone, move. If you have something on you and you're doing damage to not only yourself but the people around you, move. I don't know why this is such a hard concept. Move, people! Do not hit the boss and then AFK. You're stupid. You're not going to get carried. You're going to get kicked. You're an idiot. Move. Just because it's LFR does not mean that you can just stand there and do nothing for 10 minutes. You're wasting people's time. I do LFR because I don't have a raid group and I want to get some gear and I want to get some valor, but I don't want to be in there for 4 fucking hours. So move and do your job. My fourth tip is you need to have DBM installed, okay? That is required for the entirety of raiding. Whether it's LFR, normals, heroics, whatever, doesn't matter. You need to have DBM. If you're stupid and you don't know that you have to pay attention, DBM will scream at you to move. DBM will scream at you that, oh hey, a big thing is coming, healers, get ready, or hey, tank, you need to taunt. It'll tell you. It is literally the lazy man's raiding tool. It will tell you what to do. So please, install DBM, turn up your volume, and listen to it, because you are the reason that my raid is wiping, because you are too stupid to know what the hell to do. So please stop that. My final tip for anyone who takes all of this advice and goes, well, I still don't know what to do. Okay, well, here's something really easy. Hit M, which is the default key for your map. If you've remapped it, open your map. When you're in a dungeon or a raid, you'll see a little icon with the boss's picture on it. Click that picture, okay? It will give you an entire list of every ability this boss has, all the phases and everything. It'll tell you what's something that'll one-shot you. It'll tell you what has to be interrupted. It'll tell you what the tank has to look out for. It'll tell you what the healers have to look out for, and it'll tell you what the DPS has to look out for. It'll also show you a model of the boss, and it'll show you its loot table. And you can filter this for LFR, normals, heroics, 1025, anything. So it'll tell you all of the abilities for the boss. So if you're like, oh, okay, I saw this ability, I don't know what it does, you can look in the dungeon journal and it'll tell you exactly what it does, so that you do not do something stupid while you're in the raid. So, LFR is not just an easy way to get gear. It is not a way to just get carried. Yes, it is much easier than normal, and you do not have to lead it, and you do not have to get a group together. You just need to pay attention to your character and the boss's health. If you are a tank or a healer, your job is much different than a DPS. You need to pay attention 100%, otherwise the raid's gonna wipe. For DPS, you kind of just have to make sure you're not standing in anything and that you're hitting the right target. If you're in a fight with multiple bosses and they're all marked, or if somebody says hit this boss and there's a mark over their head or there's not, they just say focus this person, then you need to do that. You don't really need to you don't need to know every single ability as a DPS. You just need to know what you need to be damaging, what you need to be moving out of, and what you need to look out for if you need to interrupt something. LFR is not there for you to troll and hit the boss and then die so that you can get carried. It is not there for you to insult people or insult people's gear or insult their DPS. It is just there to help people. You know why that person is doing so little DPS? Because they don't have gear. Do you know why they don't have gear? Because they're still doing LFR so they can gear up. So don't kick that low DPS just because they're not doing well enough. They're in there for a reason. Don't kick the healer who's got the lowest heals when everyone else is fine, because they need the gear. Don't kick a tank just because his gear isn't up to par, or he missed one thing. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they don't know really what they're doing, and help them, don't insult them. But if you are just doing stuff over and over and over again and you're not learning, then you are the problem with LFR. And you need to just stop queuing because you are wasting 24 other people's time. Please take my advice to heart and learn what you're doing, because LFR is an actual raid that you need to know what you're doing and you need to focus. So don't just think it's a thing that you can go through to get carried and get free gear, because it's not. You're wasting people's time if that's what you think it is. So please understand what you're doing. If it's your first time, do a little bit of research or just follow the leader. Make sure you don't stand in crap and just hit the right target. That's it. It's really not that hard. I don't know why LFR continues to wipe, and I don't know why LFR continues to be a very aggravating thing for me and pretty much everyone else. So please take this advice to heart and do not be stupid in LFR. Thanks guys, we'll see you later. Bye!